penumbraisism of the bellwethered penumbraicist is what becomes of yellow marks when you make them originally in the interlanes, and they're repainted and repainted over the course of several generations, and what used to be a hagiography of some well-known ombudsman in the end is whittled down by various editors and dominatrixes into the kind of stillborn whistle that is operated with those kind of pump springs, and then can't make any better sound than spin it. What is going to happen in the 3,000-lipped confundibulum is going to be predicated upon the ways in which we answer our questionnaires. And to look at this with the faithfulness of an epileptic is unsponsored, to say the least. And without friends in the various orchestras and city councils and the closed chambers in which decisions get made while people are fitting their cummerbunds, the only hope is a kind of resourcefulness, a kind of scraggle-toothed endeavorship. And to well up with that amount of sang-froid, sang-froid, is illiterate, to say the least, in the ways of the sort of more plush-bottomed members of the church. And to sit on a derriere that has only known the embrace of heaven is to be conscripted to a madrigal of doom. And those there are epaulets of many kinds, and some people have epaulets of frankincense and myrrh, and some people have epaulets of candy, and some people have epaulets of the shape of some television celebrity that's forgotten as soon as a new and more attractive flashlight blows. And we have come through all of our various endeavors, through all of the things that we have laid upon other things, and the things that were made before us had to support the things that we wanted to make, and if they didn't support them, they collapsed. So what did our forebears leave us to build upon, and what have we left our our issue to build upon themselves? If we did not construct our edifices so that they could support further edifices, then we were asking to just be donut shops with a logo that's, a corporate logo that the property holder no longer has the franchise rights to. So they repaint it so that it, Dunkin' Donuts comes like Bunkin' Bonuts, or, McDonald's comes like Schmishmonald's. And you can tell what that sign was. And this is an iteration. This is indeed iterative, but it's not the kind of building that, every resource, if properly used, arcs towards profundity. And if the resources are mundane, and if their uses are mundane and their purposes are mundane, and if the scaffolding of mundanity only encloses a mundane building in the first place, what we can say is, I have no other recompense than to put the paper down upon the toilet seat and refuse to let any splashing from the bowl reach the tendency of my proclivity. And I don't think we can measure those kinds of resentments, and we can't measure the distance between the thing we retreated from and the thing we retreated towards. Because what we have in the current century, and what was left of the last century after we blew it to pieces and took one of its legs and beat it about the head and made it recite Candygram for Bosco, what we had was a cistern, if you will, or you could call it a colabandrum, and in it there were poultices upon which incantations could be made. And we upturned it and spilled out the contents. And, were the contents effluent? Or were the contents, yes, in some way generated from within the bile and from within the gorge, but yet were they germinant? Were they able to spawn a furtherance of the condition from which they originated? And to know this, we would have had to incant. And this is what we have refused. This is what we have refused in our generation. We have refused the incantation that was left to us to call. And when we say that these things are equivalent to the birth of steel and the birth of the metric system, we have only ourselves to blame if the leaflets are misprinted.